Hey guys, what's going on? It's OSK here. I just noticed that the release 19 patch notes have been released on Reddit. They're not live yet, but apparently they're coming in the next day or so. You can see my camera's changed a little bit from my stream setup. I'm going to be in the lower left. But yeah, I just want to read through these patch notes and see what we have here. So let's see. They're going to be answering questions tomorrow, February 27th, 3 p.m. my time, so 4 p.m. Eastern. So be ready for that. I'll be working, so y'all get all the stuff. Let's see. All of that, in case you missed it, blah, 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 blah. Scouting the Storm Prologue. This is a bunch of lore. So if you're a lore person, like I am not, at least not for Spellbreak, then you might want to go check that out. But let's see. New features. New class. We have a new class here. Let's see. These are the following skills or scrolls. Can't even call it. They can't even call it right themselves. I'm just kidding. So let's see. Foresight. This is your active passive, much like Scavenger. Has their ability to find more items with rarer ability, or like Pyro has the infamous second life. This is sort of what that is. The passive. Foresight's the upcoming shrine locations. I can definitely see this being really strong in solo and not solo, duo and squad play, especially since it drops more than one skill point and also some armor or extra equipment and possibly a gauntlet. So I could definitely see that being a little bit very strong in duos and squads. Invigorate every 3 seconds increases your and your nearby teammates' sprint speed by 15 for the first one, 20% for the second, 25 for the third, for 4 seconds. So basically, if you invest in this, you yourself are going to have constant 15% increased speed, since it goes for 4 seconds and the cooldown is 3. So you're going to be moving fast all the time, and if your teammates are nearby, then they're going to be moving fast too. And if you increase it up to 3 points, you basically have sprinting shoes without sprinting shoes. Now, if you get sprinting shoes on top of this, and you happen to be running conduit with this, and you're not attacking, dude, you're gonna be going really fast. And if you run this with I don't know, Frostborn, Frozen Alacrity, dude, you're gone. Shot Collar decreases your spell damage by 30%. Notice this says spell damage. It doesn't say sorceries. So I'm wondering if your bolter is still going to do the same damage, or if this is a typo. But I'm going to take it literally. Your spell damage. So everything that costs mana, your primary fires, decrease by 30%. And notice how it's 30% from the start. It's not 30% depending on how many skills that you invest in. So it's always going to be 30. Increases damage done to targets from any source by 15, 20, 25 for 3 seconds. I'm a little bit confused. As to how this is activated. I don't know if it's a straight passive, like if you hit somebody, then this activates, or if like your teammate hits it, or if there's a new marking system now. Like I don't know what exactly the 3 seconds is from, but I can definitely since it says spell damage in particular, I can see this being used definitely in double boulder setups with Scholar and Tempest. You're going to be doing, let's see, any source, 15, 20, 25% more damage. Double boulder just got mega buffed. Also, so did Dragonfire. But anyway, that's besides the point. Tracking. Targets you hit are outlined for you and your team 2, 4, 6 seconds. Basically, in my opinion, not as... Well, actually, it might be more powerful than what Scholar already has in the outlining. But we'll have to see how that plays out. It is nice that your teammates get to see them, even if it's just for 2 seconds. I think that could be really helpful, especially if you're the only tracker and you really want to focus down people, especially in squad and duo plays. I know that focusing down people is definitely something you want to do whenever you're playing with multiple people, just because the ability to heal and the ability to get away and rotate out your players once they're low is really beneficial during your gameplay. So I can definitely see this being used as a tool to kind of focus down some people. That might be interesting. Scout's the first support class. Great. I don't know if it'll be played in solos, but duos and squads, we'll see how this plays out. I might play it a little bit on stream actually. That could actually be pretty fun. Let's see. Class leaderboards. They now include breakdown by class as well as overall wins. Okay, not that big of a change. I'm not too excited about it. Added player exile count. This is something that I've wanted for a while. Okay, I wanted to know how well I'm doing. Basically, I base my success on kills. Of course, wins are nice, but I like going around knowing that I basically killed everyone on the server. So I really like this player exile count, and I think that it will definitely enhance the Twitch viewer experience. That's something that not many people might not take into account. Sorry about my phone. Let me put that on silent. But basically, I definitely see this as sort of a thing for Twitch viewers to kind of know, hey, how good is this guy? How many exiles does he have? Oh, he only has 1. Let's go to someone who has 5 or something like that. And kind of like in PUBG on Twitch, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, how they have that sort of however many players remaining. You might could sort this based on exiles in a game and find Twitch streams like that. It may not happen that much because I don't think SPELLBREAK is getting that many viewers on Twitch, but later down the road, whenever it starts getting to full release, this could definitely be something that we want to keep an eye on. The fracture can now be seen. No more water, sea of clouds. Okay, I don't care. Full redesign of Dead Moss region. Okay, good. One of my chief complaints about the aesthetic of the game is that a lot of the castles and structures look samey. So a little bit more variety. That's nice. Maybe you'll get more of a swampy area. That could be cool. Let's see. Added a drop down to the audio settings. Displays all. I use Discord, so none of this matters. But for those of you it does matter, I guess this increases. I guess this just improves voice chat in game. I'm not sure. Added support for several advanced mouse control options in the settings menu. All right. This is really good. And FOV scaling, good. So one of the chief complaints that, at least that I have with blink in the game, I'm sure as you know, so that's really anything when you're really up close, it's really easy for enemies to get off of your screen and straight above you or straight behind you without you being able to tell where they are. Especially for newer players, this could be used, increasing your FOV so that you can see more of the screen. And just a reminder, as you scale the FOV, as you increase it, the targets on screen will get smaller, but you'll be able to see more around you. So I could definitely see that. As far as Y-axis sensitivity, this is something that I kind of complained about whenever I first picked up the game. I've since gotten used to it. It's a little bit weird. I don't even know if it's a real thing, but it always felt like the Y-axis is a lot less sensitive than the X-axis. And for those of you that care about it, now you can just change it. I've gotten used to it. If you haven't gotten used to it, now you can change it. Good quality of life changes here. And when in a party, players will now see their teammates' avatars on the main menu. Okay, so you get kind of a PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds lobby, a basic Battle Royale lobby where you get to see everybody. Cool. As far as balance changes, these are going to be huge. I want to see some huge changes. Gauntlets, Stone, Shockwave, which is a spell, by the way. Its hitbox has its height and width reduced to better match its visuals. Stone has been heavily nerfed. This is probably a very welcome change to a lot of people, especially middle-of-the-road players who see Stone as kind of like the godly thing. I personally don't, but Stone can be played around, and now it just made my play around easier. So that's cool. So basically, the size of the old hitbox resulted in a player getting hit with visually look like they shouldn't have been. You've probably seen me complain about this on stream. I'll be at a full double jump height, and maybe it's just the server client issue, but I get hit at the height of my double jump whenever I shouldn't have been. But a decreased height of the Stone Gauntlet spell should definitely help even things out, especially since Stone just hits so hard for consistent damage. And as far as how wide the shockwave goes, I've demonstrated on stream how far off your target you can be. I'm not going to show it here, but basically you could be like a good eighth to a quarter of the screen off of your target at a certain range, and it would still hit because the width of the shockwave is so big. So this is nice. The base velocity, this might be an even bigger nerf than the actual size of the hitbox. 2 intended effects: old speed, may shockwave too easy to use over long distances, coupled with the above hitbox too easy to hit, and again coupled with the old hitbox move fast enough the client-server communication would result in other clients thinking they dodged a hit but still be damaged. They've been listening to me. But I think the speed might be a little harsh. I'll have to see how this plays out. But basically, you already had to be a little predictive with the current speed at 65. I guess if you're watching this later, it's not current, but you already had to be a little predictive whenever you go, especially if you're fighting mid-range fights, which I normally use Stone for. Generally, when you're pretty close, you want to use Toxic, generally speaking. But for Stone mid-range fights, this is a heavy nerf. I expect Stone usage to be like greatly dropped. If not immediately, then definitely in the future. They might have over-nerfed this, but we'll see. That's the only gauntlet that's been affected. Good. I think the others are in a good spot. Toxic is obviously the best close range choice if you're not getting hopped on. If you can actually hit all your shots, it should be that way. Lightning has a good place. It's a good tracking tool. Frost hits the hardest in one shot. That should be the way it is. Lightning still out DPSs it, as you've seen in my video. But yeah, I think all the gauntlets are in a good place, and yeah, I think they nerf Stone a little bit too hard, especially with the speed. The hitbox is fine, but the speed maybe a little too much. Runes, Chronomaster, rewinding lock has been removed. This is great. This is fantastic. Chronomaster before, whenever you rewound, you couldn't do anything besides move around and jump. Whenever you are rewinding time and you're recharging your health and armor, this made the gameplay a lot slower for Chronomaster. So I'm really interested to see how Chronomaster is going to be used. I'm going to be using it a lot. I think it's really underrated, to be honest. I think Chronomaster is the most underrated rune in the game. It can totally reset fights, guys. It can completely flip the tables when used in the right place. And even if you're not using it just for a healing option, you can juke out your opponents and use it to quickly mix up your movement, and they're not going to know at all where you are because there's no trail left behind. So you're going to be able to take people in surprise, and you're going to be able to attack as soon as you get out of that teleport animation. So this is good. Big buff. Indeed, big buff. Items. I've been waiting for items nerf too. I actually made a Reddit post while this patch note was released. I was working on I was working on a review of the current state of items in the game while I was at work. And while I spent 2 hours doing that in between what I was doing at work, this came out, so that kind of made my post obsolete. Sloppy, if you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about. You commented on it. But Dexterous Amulet, upgraded from rare to epic rarity. This is good. Dexterous Amulet is really good currently in 18.2. 30% increase cast speed. That's huge, especially if you're a Frost user, and especially if you're a Lightning user. Or really anything. You see it more in Lightning, but this was way too good to stay at rare. You could find it all over the place. Now it's epic. Good. Now not all the epics are elemental based, and besides from like Conflagration or Icy Refraction, now we have another viable epic, so that's cool. Reinforced Belt, uncommon to rare. I never used a Reinforced Belt. If you did and you found a lot of use for it, then good for you, but I never used it, so I guess this is cool. I didn't really notice it being used all that much. Behemoth Amulet. Best amulet in the game. Mana cost reduction is below from 20 to 15%. This is good. It's Behemoth Amulet, in case you don't know, is hands down the best amulet in the game. Unless you're running a sorcery heavy build, then Amulet of the Scribe is the best. but let's see. Cast speed increase has been lowered from 25% to 20. Okay, so now it's a good chunk below Dexterous Amulet, pretty much making you decide between Behemoth Amulet and Dexterous Amulet. Now, do you want to go all out on your cast speed, or do you want cast speed with mana cost reduction? And I believe Behemoth Amulet also has a bit of spell damage as well at 10%. I could be wrong. I don't remember at the time of this recording. I think it has increased spell damage. So I still think Behemoth is still going to be the best amulet to run, just the best well balanced. But it did need to be knocked down a peg just a little bit. Behemoth Belt, easily best item in the game as of 18.2. It reduces max armor increase from 100 to 50. This is good. This is very good. Oftentimes, especially since it gave 25 health anyway, you would basically see an opponent with almost double the normal amount of health. And oftentimes, I can definitely see some people going, well, did I die to skill, or did I die to a Behemoth Belt? And now this kind of evens out the playing field a little bit. You're going to have to say, okay, the Behemoth Belt is not as good as it used to be. Now I need to think about how to actually outplay it now instead of just trying to zerg it down for 50 extra damage. So this is good. It still keeps the 25 health bonus and the extra rune slot, but the 50, that makes it, I think this makes it definitely a good nerf. Let's just say definitely a good nerf. Armored Belt, there's nothing on it on here, so that still gives 100 max armor. So depending on the build you're going for, if you want to go more of a Bulwark build, you might choose Armored over Behemoth now. Or just for all around sort of stuff, you might just choose Behemoth Belt anyway. It just depends. But this is a good nerf. This needed to be nerfed. Classes, Scavenger. Scavenger is one of the most popular classes by far. It doesn't say by far, but it is by far because it was so good. Scavenger lets you pull an extra item, and that extra item got to be blue rarity or higher. And this doesn't just apply to gauntlets. So if you're looking for a blue item rarity, it could be equipment, it could be runes, it could be equipments, runes, gauntlets, whatever. And that made it really, really powerful. So let's see what they did. Finest wares lowered cast speed, damage reduction this is cast speed 10 to 15, 20 on 1, 2, and 3 skill points to 5, 10, 15. Good. This needed to be nerfed. It's really good. Cast speed is so good, guys. Try it out. Cast speed is great. Oh, I guess this is for both damage reduction as well. So yeah, it's a little bit less of an all-rounder. Scavenger is an all-rounder class. Basically, it just makes your gameplay a whole lot better just because of how powerful it is. But yeah, this needs some toning down. It definitely did. Not as much as Behemoth Amulet and Behemoth Belt, but it still needs some toning down. Finders Keepers, the passive on Scavenger, the one that lets you draw an extra item, blue rarity or better, or rare rarity or better, no longer ensures the item is rare or better. Now just an extra item. Okay, so you could be pulling an extra Student's Amulet or Student's anything or a common gauntlet. Now it's a lot more luck of the draw instead of controlling you having really powerful items. So as far as the early game is concerned, this kind of levels out things between Scavenger and other things. Because before, if you run Scavenger, you could easily find a rare or an epic gauntlet and then just out DPS anyone that you come across. And if they weren't running Phoenix, then it was a really easy kill. So this is good that it's nerfed. Phoenix indirectly for early game gets a buff here, but let's go on to the next one. Tempest Slipstream. Buff wears off after 3 seconds instead of 10. Thank Christ for this one. Okay. So Slipstream, basically if you just you didn't have to stay in the air. If you hopped in the air once, it basically gave you a 10-second cooldown for an increase in mana. So every second you get like 10 increase in mana, or maybe it was more than that. But this is a very welcome change. So basically if you get out of the air, now it's only 3 seconds instead of 10. So basically if you hopped in the air, you basically had infinite mana. It was really annoying to deal with for those people that ran it, because they never had to recharge. They just hop in the air and you're good to go. Okay, that gets out of the balance changes. Visual changes. Chests have a new look. Cool. They already look different enough for me to differentiate, but that's cool for newer players. Added unique animation for stone sorcery. Okay. I guess the toxic and the stone sorcery kind of look the same, but this is going to be interesting to see what they change it to. Not that it really matters. Polished idle animations, good. Polished drinking animations, good. Maybe I'll actually have my potion touch my lips now instead of just holding it way the hell out here. But we'll see. Polished feather falls animation transitions, good. A lot of times, if you got to the apex of feather fall, you'd kind of just get in a little pose like this and you just float down. So I know it's an alpha, but this is still good. Reduce the opacity on the sorcery cooldown overlay for improved visibility. Okay, so you're going to see your sorcery cooldown a little bit better. And also reduce the size of the numbers on rune and gauntlet cooldowns. Okay, you didn't have to do that second part, but cool. Polished visual effects for Shadow Step, Wolf's Blood, Featherfall runes. Okay, don't really care. Polished effects for Frost, Sorcery, Flash Freeze. This did look a little bit robotic, so this is cool. This is going to make it look prettier, better for my streams. So that's cool. Added map change. Added shrines to the practice map. Cool. Now I can actually make my my full in-depth practice guide, which is coming out eventually, guys. It's going to be long, so be prepared. But yeah, this is really good. Now I don't have to go into a match and get some run around gameplay. Now I can actually just stand still and basically walk you through it. Polished landscape around the southern side of the lobby and around the bridge near Whitgrave. Okay, I don't care. I mean, I guess I care a little bit, but not that much. Remove some floating loot from one of the small forts. Cool. Fixed a physics bug to prevent people. This is archways under a bridge near Halcyon Pass. This was really annoying. So if you're walking underneath a bridge and there's like the little archway that you're trying to walk through, sometimes it wouldn't let you because of the collision physics. So you would have to like crouch under it. Even sometimes that wouldn't work, even though it's obviously big enough to fit through. So hopefully this changes that a little annoying thing. Polish the landscape areas north and west of Dead Moss. Okay, they already mentioned that. Updated map. Okay, they already mentioned that. Sculpted map edges to accommodate clouds. Cool. Visual polish to dead. Okay, another Dead Moss. Getting caught on castle walls and stairs. The stairs part is important because sometimes you couldn't actually run through. And also, sometimes when you did your stone, if it was the wrong kind of stairs, it would stop at the top of the stairs instead of following through up the rest of the platform. So hopefully this is fixed. Adjusted level bound areas play nice with clouds. Cool. Remove fog from the lobby area. I didn't really notice that much fog around the lobby area, but cool. I like clear skies. Did a lighting pass in the world. Cool. Performance, load time, special machines. Okay, it doesn't apply to me, but cool for lower end. And performance and memory usage, I hopefully get 60 frames on stream now. So we'll see. Bug fixes. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with this. Scholar's runic inspiration buff reduces rune cooldowns again as expected. This is the one that caught my eye right here. And this was a big one because this runic inspiration buff was actually broken. It did not work. Hopefully now it works. Or it's supposed to work. We'll see. Bug sometimes. Flight effects trigger twice. Sound effects trigger twice. Yes, this was really annoying, and you can even hear it on the enemy side. So this is a very welcome change. Fixed target and grounded target. Sometimes players cause flight to appear very glitchy. Spectator, not really worried about it. Animation issues, chaining wind jumps. Okay, I didn't really notice that much. Let's see, Fist of Bug, that would remove existing base rune charges while removing during rune's cooldown. I didn't even know that was a thing, but okay. Hunting exploit with Cold Snap Chrono. I don't know that one, but cool. Still some known issues. I'll let y'all read through that on the Reddit post. But yeah, don't forget about the Twitch stream on Wednesday, as they said. And also, this is tomorrow, by the way. Also, tomorrow I'm going to be on, or if you're watching this on Wednesday, I'll be on tonight at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So hope to see y'all there. Anyway, if you appreciated me reading the patch notes, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please check out my Twitch and follow me there. I'll be playing on Wednesday. And yeah, if you like to apply to the Coach Keki thing, Coach Keki gameplay reviews, they're going to be down in the description. The form is, so please fill it out and keep it SPELLBREAK material. And hopefully you'll be featured on this channel. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all later. Peace out.